It is Friday, the 2nd of November, 2018. Today I'm rowing the boat on my own. Let's get underway. Starting with the global market cap review. Coin market cap. Bitcoin dominance at 53.5%. Top 10, Bitcoin 1, Ethereum 2, Ripple XRP 3, Bitcoin Cash 4, EOS 5, Stellar 6, Litecoin 7, Cardano 8, Tether 9, and Monero rounds out the top 10. The biggest mover in the top 10 this week was Bitcoin Cash, up 8.29% as of today. Let's have a look at the total market capitalization. Started the week at 210 billion, ended the week at 207 billion, down 3 billion. Not a huge amount overall, but we had a huge dip in the middle and a recovery sort of at the end, or the end of the middle. All right, let's go look at Blocktivity. EOS 1, BitShares 2, Steam 3, Bitcoin 4, Bitcoin Cash 5. That's a surprise. Ethereum 6, Ethereum Classic 7, Komodo 8, Nano 9, and Waves rounds out the top 10. We can see, looks like Bitcoin utilization at 98.57% estimated, and Ethereum at 100%, of course, with 77,000 unconfirmed transactions. Running a little hot. Let's get into the week's headlines. Coinbase executive denies plans for IPO anytime soon, reveals plans to add up to 300 new coins. Major U.S. cryptocurrency exchange and wallet provider Coinbase will not perform an IPO anytime soon. The company's president and CEO, Asif Hirji, told Bloomberg today on October 31st. So, yeah, this adding up to 300 coins, that's not for the U.S. exchange. That's for kind of a new international exchange I think they're working on. Next headline, Bitcoin ATM operator CoinSource gets New York regulators green light with BitLicense. The regulator has given its formal seal of approval for New Yorkers to use cash to buy or sell Bitcoin using CoinSource's Bitcoin teller machines. The Texas-based operator already deploys 40 such machines across the state in New York City, Westchester, and Nassau County, and is the first BTM operator to receive a New York virtual currency license. New Yorkers are finally getting into the game. Woo! Next headline, popular Ethereum DApp browser MetaMask to launch mobile app version. I use MetaMask, I like it. Mobile app version of the currently most downloaded Ethereum Chrome browser extension MetaMask was revealed during Ethereum's annual DevCon conference, October 31st. Everybody's favorite Ethereum browser extensions coming to your phone. The team is focusing on not being just a wallet, but a portal to the world of all things blockchain. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see how it's going to compare to the Chrome extension. Yeah. So next headline: updated Morgan Stanley report hails cryptocurrency as new institutional investment class. Bitcoin and altcoins has been a new institutional investment class since 2017. U.S. multinational investment bank and financial services company Morgan Stanley claims in a new report released October 31st. The document titled Bitcoin Decrypted, a brief teach-in and implications, sees the newly bullish Morgan Stanley weigh in on the surprising developments in cryptocurrency that continue to the present day. That's good. Seems like Morgan Stanley, they're a really old investment house, been around a long time, have a lot of respect, a lot of old-time investors. So, yeah, they're weighing in on the positive side here. That's good for crypto. Next headline, NASDAQ eyes crypto market manipulation use case for market surveillance tool. The world's second largest stock exchange, NASDAQ, says its market surveillance technology can stamp out manipulation in cryptocurrency markets. The publication referenced an unpublished paper from NASDAQ released Thursday, in which it explains it has invested decades developing tools for catching and preventing market manipulation. Regulators, brokers, and exchanges have surveillance teams that monitor activity constantly, and advanced technologies help capture and analyze abusive behaviors, including pump and dump schemes, insider trading, wash trading, as well as spoofing and layering. I love it if a lot of exchanges would pick up some of these tools. That would be awesome. We can cross our fingers. Okay, first news for the day. Big Four auditor Ernst & Young launches zero-knowledge system for private transactions on Ethereum. Big Four auditor Ernst & Young has launched the prototype of a system that enables secure and private transactions to take place on the Ethereum public network. The system, dubbed Ernst & Young Ops Chain Public Edition, uses zero-knowledge proof technology, an alternative algorithm for authenticating distributed ledger entries, in which transacting parties provide proof of validity, but all other information remains encrypted, including their identities. The prototype is aimed at enterprises that wish to keep their transaction records private without having to resort to a permissioned private network. Paul Brody, Ernst & Young's global innovation leader, blockchain, has outlined that with zero-knowledge proofs, organizations can transact on the same network as their competition in complete privacy and without giving up the security of the public Ethereum blockchain. The press release underscores that the 20 billion plus market cap Ethereum network offers enterprises a level of liquidity that dwarfs that of any existing permissioned blockchain, as well as removing the need for building an in-house private blockchain from scratch. Ernst & Young says it aims to spur enterprise blockchain adoption by supporting both payment tokens and unique product and service tokens that are similar to the Ethereum ERC20 and ERC721 token standards. Its offering extends to a prototype for a private transaction monitor that captures transaction history for subsequent review. Both Ernst & Young OpsChain PE and Ernst & Young Blockchain Private Transaction Monitor have reportedly been developed by the Ernst & Young Blockchain Labs in London and Paris and are still with patents pending. They are slated to be ready for full-scale product launch by 2019, press release says. Ethereum's developers have long been working to support zero-knowledge proofs on the network, with Vitalik Buterin revealing in fall of 2017 that a network upgrade had successfully verified a zero-knowledge snark proof on the Ropsten testnet. So I think this is could be big news. A lot of companies are developing semi-private blockchains, and they're not fully. I mean, if you had a fully private blockchain within your company, it wouldn't be a point. You would just run a database within your company, right? So blockchains are for multiple companies that interact with each other but want to have verifiable proof of movement or transfer of assets. So a lot of companies have been working together to develop this sort of thing. I mean, IBM's been developing blockchain technology, for example, that they could sell to companies to use with other groups of companies or subsidiaries, whatever, and that way they can share that information, right? And they've had to do that because of the fact that if you tried to, as a company, private or set of private companies trying to use a public blockchain like Ethereum, you would be exposing a lot of information out there that you wouldn't want to expose. But this zero-knowledge proof system, if it proves out, it will allow companies just to use Ethereum. They won't have to develop their own blockchain anymore. I mean, at all. I mean, it seems, unless there's something that goes outside the bounds of what Ethereum can do, or possibly what EOS could do, because I reckon that this kind of technology could probably be ported to Ethereum as well. So this is probably pretty big news. I reckon it could be a game changer for a lot of companies that maybe didn't have the funds to buy into something, create their own blockchain system. All right, next bit of news. ERC20 co-author proposes new ICO model to protect investors from fraudulent token sales. The Ethereum developer that co-authored the ERC20 token standard has introduced a new model for initial coin offerings. Czech business news outlet Kurzy reports October 31st. Speaking at Ethereum's annual DevCon conference in Prague, October 30th, Fabian Vogelsteller, also the main developer of decentralized application browser Mist, proposed a new approach for running ICOs that he claims will better protect investors. Vogelsteller described the concept dubbed a reversible ICO, or RICO, as a fundraising model that allows investors to return their tokens and be reimbursed at any stage of the project via a special purpose smart contract. According to the developers, such a setup would decrease the risks for investors of facing a fraudulent ICO, while also making ICO issuers more motivated to fulfill their obligations. Quote, you are able to take back your funds at any point in time and do it simply by sending your token back. According to Vogelsteller's proposed model, once tokens issued in a RICO were returned, they could be purchased by other investors. However, given such a model would make funding amounts less stable, startups would also need more core funding from private investors outside of the public token sale. Yes, definitely. I mean, if your token, if the money that you're trying to get in a crowd sale is locked into a contract for however amount of time, I mean, I don't really quite understand this, but we'll see how that goes. Despite the persistent bear market in crypto this year, ICOs have reportedly amassed twice as much in funds between January and May of 2018 alone in comparison with the entire year of 2017. So that's pretty amazing. So I'm interested to see what this proposal is more about. It's not a lot of detail there, but it sounds interesting, though. Our next news article, top of the page, Ethereum 2.0 launch. Quote, really not so far away, says Vitalik Buterin in the DEF CON 4 keynote speech. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin unveiled the roadmap for what he described as the coherent whole, Ethereum 2.0, in a keynote presentation at the DevCon 4 conference in Prague on October 31st. Dubbed Serenity, the project encompasses multiple projects Ethereum developers have been working on since 2014. Ethereum 2.0 is a combination of a bunch of different features that we've been talking about for several years, researching for several years, actively building for several years, that are finally about to come together in one cohesive whole. Ethereum users and analysts have long debated the potential time frame of the network's upgrades, which have seen recent updates pushed back in order to tighten up technical prowess. Among Serenity's constituent parts are a transfer to proof-of-stake algorithm, a project known as Casper, scalability improvements via a process known as sharding, as well as various other protocol enhancements. Prior to the big launch, developers will make some final tweaks. Buterin continued, these will include stabilizing protocol specifications and cross-client testnet integrating at least two implementations of Ethereum 2.0. The additional testing is important, he added, having learned from Ethereum 1.0 releases, which he suggested occurred too quickly. As for when the vision would become reality, Buterin remained coy, saying only that it was really not so far away. So yes, Ethereum 2.0 may be coming in 2019. Next and final news piece for the week, new Ethereum-based token to be backed by Bitcoin. U.S. crypto wallet and blockchain security firm BitGo has announced the development of an Ethereum-based coin backed one-to-one with Bitcoin, according to an official blog post Friday, October 26th. The announcement reads that wrapped Bitcoin will provide users with a wide variety of new decentralized use cases, including on decentralized exchanges. I think that's a huge use case there. As collateral for stablecoins or lending, for payments and flexible smart contracts within the Ethereum ecosystem. Major decentralized projects like Kyber Network, Gnosis, MakerDAO, and others will power the launch of the new ERC20 coin's first major use cases in January 2019, according to the announcement. Describing the upcoming coin as a transformational community effort, BitGo claimed that the new token will bring the stability and value of major cryptocurrency Bitcoin to make cryptocurrencies applicable for businesses on the Ethereum blockchain. BitGo said that the company introduced the new digital asset with full proof of reserve following significant institutional interest in tokenization of assets like securities, commodities, and real estate. According to the statement, every Bitcoin will be accounted for on a dashboard displaying addresses and balances, and users will be able to verify each Bitcoin held in custody on the blockchain, which is available for monitoring via Etherscan. In early September, BitGo acquired a state trust company charter in South Dakota to become a certified cryptocurrency custodian. As a custodian, BitGo will be subject to regulatory oversight in compliance with KYC and AML policies. I mean, wow, this is huge. I mean, Bitcoin's already at capacity. Imagine now you can just trade Bitcoin on Ethereum. I mean, a lot of people when they're trading with Bitcoin anyway, they're wanting to buy an ICO or something, so they got to convert to Ethereum. Well, now you don't have to do that anymore. You just have your Bitcoin on the Ethereum network, and you don't even have to transact on the Bitcoin network at all. It's a bit mind-blowing what the possibilities here are. Decentralized exchanges, most of the decentralized exchanges that I've used are built around the Ethereum network, and you can trade Ethereum for a coin that's on the Ethereum, an ERC20 coin, basically on the Ethereum network on one of these decentralized exchanges. But now a decentralized exchange could add Bitcoin as a trading pair as well. And think about this. If this works, they can add other coins. They could add Bitcoin Cash. They could add, any number of different coins. Of course, Ethereum itself is already really behind, but, Ethereum 2.0 is coming. I guess we can hope that sharding will reduce the strain on the network, but this could really blow it out in a huge way, I think. Of course, if some of this kind of tech can also be ported to EOS, then I think we can see the same sort of thing there. We can see some pretty powerful decentralized exchanges being built in the coming year or two. I'm really looking forward to this. It's very exciting to me. Okay, that's all I have for news this week. Let's just get into the Safe Network Development Update for November 1st, when the Dev update came out. Here are the main things they're highlighting this week. The second version of the Crust test is now online. See this post for more information on how to join it. I've joined it. I've been playing around with it. It's a bit of fun, testing it out, seeing how you connect with other people, how it punches through the firewall on your router, and gets the job done. Of course, they're still learning things. It's probably not 100% perfect yet, and they're still learning and developing. That's the point of the test. At user Jean-Philippe, I may not be pronouncing your name right. Jean, I'm sorry. He is she is the newest member of the routing team. So congratulations, Jean-Philippe. Vinitha05 joins the team today as assistant manager in the Chennai office. Congratulations, Vinitha. Front-end team would like to encourage community members to participate in the discussions around how to store RDF data on the SAFE network. The discussion is taking place in the dev forum topic here. Marketing. This week in marketing, we've been preparing for the release of V2, version 2 of Trust Test, from videos to voiceovers, form instructions, screenshots, and social messaging, and the inevitable GDPR discussions. We're also about to start using a new CoinGecko Beam service. I'm going to have to look into that. I don't know what that is. Beam service to share development updates. It's an interesting service as the information will then be delivered by API to other crypto apps and widgets, and it's an approach that we'd like to build on each week in order to expand the distribution of our updates way beyond the reach of this forum. In amongst other stats and content we've been juggling this week, we've also been working on a new email subscriber plan. More of this to follow very shortly. That's also very interesting. I want to get subscribed. I think that's a great idea. Having an email subscriber list is great. I'm on one with credits, and I get their updates when they do things. I think that could be a really good way to boost their reach and let people know what's going on. So we've also got a section on recruitment here. A lot of things happening there. User experience team. It's got an update. Safe API and apps. Nice update. Long update. Safe client libs update. A routing update. Long routing update. And Trust update. So get in there and have a look at what's going on with MaidSafe's safe network development. And that will be all I've got for this week, folks. I'd like to thank my viewers for joining the show today. We hope you found the episode informative and helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share a video with others. And tune in next week for another interesting episode.